of the first half, I think we can set ourselves in a good situation.
And lastly, they took some points off of Chelsea, a title rival for Manchester City, before the break. They'll be hoping to make sure that they do the same thing to you, so you know exactly what line needs to talk to your team today.
Yeah, of course. They will definitely try to do things to take part, but it will be like that for all teams that we're playing against. Everybody wants to beat us, and we just need to adapt to that, but at the same time also have a hunting mindset.
So the two managers, Andre Jegler and Brian Sorensen, with Niall McCowan there, head of kick-off. Former Wales defender Nia Jones is alongside me today. Nia, good afternoon, or good morning I should say.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. A chilly one by the looks of it today. I'm hoping there's going to be a few goals to warm us up a little bit today.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think as both managers spoke really well prior to kick-off, I think they've nailed it. I think Sorensen said that actually their best chance is probably to stick together, congest central areas and see if they can really hurt Manchester City on the break, much like they did in that emphatic win away from home to Chelsea. And they just seem to be purring their way in this title race, don't they, under Jegler. I almost feel like he's taken what was excellent under Gareth Taylor and added to it, added that almost Swedish direct style when they need to. And gosh, he's blessed with a couple of very talented forwards, isn't he, with Miedemar ensuring hot form. So they are the team to beat.
Well, they're just making their way out at the Joy Stadium. City, of course, you mentioned it there, under a new manager. They've looked ruthless. They're flying high at the top of the table. They haven't made any signings in a January transfer window yet. Where do you think they might need to strengthen?
No, and to be honest, I think that's worked in their favour, that he's able to pick a really consistent side most weeks. He doesn't really deviate from the way that he sets up, and why should he? It helps build harmony in the team. The connection seems to be really strong. The players that come in off the bench, the likes of Carolyn, Iman Bene, always have an impact. I think if there's one area for me that they've looked a little bit ropey at times, and we saw that highlighted against Chelsea, and their only loss of the season is in the centre-back position. Jade Rose in there with Kanak, and they have grown as the season's worn on, but that is probably one area. They're looking at Sam Coffey, the USA international, who's more of a midfielder. She would add a lot of international experience to their ranks, but I mean, looking at the league table, they don't need much.
Well, let's have a look how they line up then for this afternoon. Two changes from the side that thrashed West Ham in the Subway League Cup quarter-final before the international break. Alex Greenwood makes her first start since returning from injury, while there's an added attacking threat with Viviana Miedemar coming into the starting lineup. Leila Houabi and Grace Clinton dropped to the bench. Khadija Shaw retains her place at the top of the attack and will be looking to continue her fine record against Everton, having found the net in each of her last 6 appearances against the Toffees. For Everton, there are 5 changes to the side that were beaten by Arsenal last time out. Injuries have taken their toll on the squad, so regular defenders Ishikawa and Katagao both ruled out through injury, forcing a reshuffle at the back. That opens the door for Mav Pacheco, who is given the chance to make an impact from the start as she continues her return following an ankle injury. And new loanee signing, Hannah Blundell, who has arrived from Manchester United, is named among the substitutes today. So, just a few moments away from kick-off here at the Joy Stadium. Nia, for Everton, of course, they made that big upset against Chelsea, 34 unbeaten run, they stopped that. Could they do that again today?
Well, it was a tremendous performance, not just the goal they managed to score through Mamiki on the break, a really well-finished move, but actually it's the way that they stuck together. It's the first time this season that I've really seen that togetherness, that pride, that passion to actually just defend the goal. Courtney Brosnan between the sticks was outstanding, and you'd have to think it would have to be a very similar performance for them today if they're going to get anything from this. But their away form is the 5th best in the league, so they won't mind at all being away from Merseyside today.
All of their points have been picked up on the road for Everton, and this player in particular back from injury, her first start since returning. Alex Greenwood playing at left back today. What a brilliant player she has been for England and City.
Yeah, remarkable, wearing the captain's armband, and she has pushed Wahhabi to the bench. She's also having an excellent season. A lot is said about Kasparai as right back, getting forward, putting in crosses. She chipped in with plenty of goals and assists so far this season as well, so it's a testament to how Greenwood has recovered from that injury, that she's straight back into the starting lineup today.
And for Everton, high fives all round. They want to make this a to remember, they have made a signing, Hannah Blundell from Manchester United for Brian Sorensen there on loan for the remainder of the season. What can she bring, do you think?
I think just Super League experience. She's got a tremendous trophy cabinet through her time with both Manchester United and Chelsea. Really strong workhorse, really good team player as well. Just come back after having her little girl, so she got a fitting send-off from her old club Manchester United, and we'll be hoping to get on the pitch today.
Well, here we go then. Manchester City against Everton, and we are off and underway. A big game at both ends of the WSL. Leaders, Manchester City, looking to extend their 6-point lead at the top, and Everton, having caused that upset by putting a stop to Chelsea's unbeaten run, they're looking to do the same this afternoon. Rose, all the way back to Yamashita, who got a new look, I think. Blonde hair for her over Christmas. Greenwood. City have got the added threat of Viviana Miedemar there as well for Everton to contest with today. Here's Casper Wright.
That's exactly it. I'm sure plenty was spoken of Sunny Shaw in the pre-match meeting, but not exactly double up on her, because then it does leave plenty of space for the best Super League players ever in Miedemar.
Nola. Fernandez. The Mace. Sunny Shaw looking to extend that remarkable run she has against Everton. Six times she's scored for City against this club consecutively. The only player to have scored more, or had a game more, is Viviana Miedemar with 7, and that was against Reading. City have both of those players in their ranks. Wheeler. Kane. Hayashi. Doing well to wiggle around Miedemar.
Really positive play this, really good start from Everton, and Sorensen was right that if they're going to get anything out of this game, they have to weather this opening 20 to 30 minutes.
Some good chance there. Signola lurking at the far post. Casper Wright forced into a header to defend that.
And they're doing more than weathering it, aren't they? Plenty of bodies up for Everton. Some really smart 1-2 touch football. It's a searching cross to the back post, and Casper Wright, the 2 number 18s going for it. She has to deal with that one.
So the first corner of the game, Ruby Mace will take. At the far post, header back in. He's scrambling to get it clear. It's fallen to Hayashi.
I like what they tried to do there, Everton. Big ball over the top from Ruby Mace, up from centre-back to take it. Header back across, just didn't fall to an Everton boot.
Mace. Pacheco, coming back from injury. Matt Pacheco. The summer signing from Aston Villa. Found Lauren Hemp on the far side, and Everton lucky Shaw wasn't on the end of that.
Yeah, a bit of a sloppy crossfield pass. You don't want to give Lauren Hemp too many of them, but too much on the through ball for sure. Already controlling the tempo really well here, Everton, taking the sting out of this home tie for City.
And out from the back though, it's risky business from Brosnan. Pacheco. Kasparai capitalises on that loose touch. And out to Greenwood. Hemp. The low-looking cross in into a black shirt though.
It wasn't a bad ball across. You'd have expected Shaw to at least get across the front of Fernandez, the centre-back. So far, they just haven't got their press to click, Manchester City. So often we see them almost suffocating teams and winning it back with ease, but Everton are being really brave on the ball with good technical ability.
Miller does well there. Snoid can't keep a hold of that from the Kilda Brown though. Back with Rose and Yamashita. City looking to extend their lead at the top end of the table today. They've won 10 WSL games in a row. Their best is 12, and that was under Gareth Taylor back in the 2020-21 season. But a formidable force this year. Here's Miedemar and Hemp. Got it back. Miedemar. Blocked well by Mace.
You can hear the crowd excited whenever the ball is at the feet of Vivianne Miedemar, with good reason. Just got to look at her record, not only here but at Arsenal as well. And this is what they can do. They've hardly had the ball for the opening 6 or 7 minutes near City, but Hemp full of tricks and good movement from Miedemar.
And the attack again, in far post. Over the head.
Here it is again. It's a brave block from Ruby Mason. This is what they did really well when they did manage to get that shock victory against the champions Chelsea prior to Christmas.
Miedemar, the WSL leading goal scorer. Over 120 goals for Arsenal in her time. She scored 16 for City, signing back in 2024. Mace. Pass back. Carolyn. Hemp.
That's clever play from Payne. Really clever play. Good forward play. She knows she can't really turn in that situation, but puts herself between the ball and the opponent, draws a foul. Again, the ball is with Everton. It's interesting to see how they've set up actually. So often we're used to seeing them with the back four, and when they have got the ball building from Brosnan, that's what they are. But often they're asking Onia Vignola on the ball there and Homegaard on the opposite side to track the wing back, so they almost become a back five.
Vignola, nice play from Everton here, and just slightly overshot to Van Hool.
The ideas are right though. I'm not seeing anybody in this fancy new fourth kit of Everton really isolated. There's plenty of options, plenty of teammates trying to get around them in support. It's just the way to the pass at the minute, not quite there. You'll be pleased with how they started for sure.
Brian Sorensen, manager of Everton, said there's not going to be a major turnover in this January transfer window for them. They're fully focused on an extremely hard game today. He does know the threat that City holds.
Yeah, and bringing in loads of signings isn't the be-all and end-all and the answer to everything. Actually, what Everton need right now is a bit of consistency. Buckle down with the players that they've got, build on the performances they've put in so far.
Greenwood sent in, injured in the process. Returning from injury, Alex Greenwood. Her first start since coming back today.
two players on screen who will know a lot about the opponents. Ruby Mace, formerly of Manchester City and Greenwood, formerly, of course, of Everton, joined them when she was just 6 years of age. I don't think there's much in this in terms of a foul. Just catches her ankle there. It's a painful one.
An experienced player. She'll get back up. Pacheco. Injuries have hit both these sides. Everton without their regular defenders, Ishikawa and Katagawa today. And for Manchester City, no Fujino. Forced off against Aston Villa in December. Rose. I think that's Brian Sorensen on the touchline.
I think it is, and responding to it really well. Actually, it's not just cheerleading from the Everton manager, it's really specific instruction with the press, and they've got it again.
Lovely ball from Vignola. Payne just caught offside though.
She drifted in from that right-hand side, so used to seeing her play as an out-and-out winger, Tony Payne, but she's occupying the number 9 position, and she's not offside. It's a wonderful ball with the outside of the boot. Should have been play on. It's a poor decision.
Well, it's Kanak, I think, that keeps her on side. Big chance for Everton. City on the attack again. Here's Hem. And headed out by Pacheco.
No, she did really well, Pacheco, because there was not just one but two Manchester City players lurking behind her. She can't have been absolutely certain where they were. Maybe got a shout from a teammate just to get rid, give a corner away. However, Manchester City do have the best record in the league so far at goals scored from set pieces and corners. We'll have to focus here, Everton.
So Greenwood. The near post, Miedemar hits it back up. And the referee spotted a foul in there.
I think he stopped play because there might have been an impact on the head, but I'm amazed he wasn't given as a foul. It was a brave header in the first instance from Pacheco again, and Miedemar straight away apologising to Hayashi because she knew her boot was a little bit too high.
Will get us back underway. Courtney Brosnan, also one of the players coming back from injury for Everton. He played 6 games this year for them. 1 clean sheet, and that did come against Chelsea. Rose. Brown, it's out by Hayashi. Barai, lurch onto the end of it. Crossed in, here's Shaw, free shot to Shaw, it's blocked well. Hem. Greenwood sent in, and a shot from Shaw, it's saved well by Brosnan.
Wow, what a bit of play. 2 golden opportunities for funny, Shaw. In the first instance, it's a brilliant block by Ruby Mace, but the second phase, Hemp does really well to get it back under. The delivery from Greenwood is always going to come in. You think if she didn't score the first, this one's inevitably going to end up in the back of the net. But look at that from Brosnan. She was brilliant against Chelsea, and she started as she left off in 2025.
Another corner in there, near post this time, doesn't beat the first player. You'd expect Shaw to really put them into the back of the net. 7 goals in her last 3 games. And scored last time out, of course, in the League Cup quarter-final. A ruthless finisher. 101 goals for Manchester City.
Over 60 shots already so far in the league. It's something about her as well that I often notice is she does get chances, she doesn't always bury them, but she's always ready for the next one. That mindset of a striker, they can drift in and out of games, but when their team needs them, she is the one that they can rely upon.
Awarded free kick-off too for that achievement. 100 goals for Manchester City. With Everton though, like lapsing concentration, City will pounce. Carolyn.
I think that's what she adds, unlike any other player in the City squad actually, Carolyn. In the absence of Pagino today, who has got a brilliant partnership with Casper on that right-hand side. Carolyn brings that Brazilian magic. She can beat a player one-on-one with ease, and often against teams who opt to sit deep, which Everton are doing, by the way, so far today. She's often the one that can unlock the low block.
Scored on her return too last time out, Carolyn, before the the Christmas break. Greenwood. Lamar was there, punched out well by Brosnan. He will look to recycle though, Carolyn.
Outstanding from the goalkeeper again. She had to be brave. I think she took up one of her own teammates in the process.
Hemp. 2 markers on her. She beats them both, gets the byline. It is blocked in the end by an Everton player. Oh God.
And she's got a bit of the touchline on her forehead for her troubles as well. As you say, they're really doubling up in those wide areas. They know how threatening City are. The technical players congest the centre of the pitch, which leaves plenty of space out wide.
Tagawa. Well, they are starting to dominate now, Manchester City. Hemp. Tagawa. Blocked again well by Everton. They're keeping these out for now.
Yeah, and you can hear the cheers as well. They're almost cheering every block cross like a goal, and that's what you need to do when you're at the wrong end of the Super League table. Take real pride in those defensive actions. So far, the deliveries uncharacteristically haven't been too impressive from Hasegawa. Go short this time.
Tactic. Hasegawa sends in again, punched away again by Brosnan. Blankilda Brown pings it up, cleared once more. Shaw. Kasparai. Greenwood pings it in, header by Shaw. Did she get contact with that? Or did that fly all the way through?
Yeah, just a little touch too high, I think, the delivery from Greenwood. She is such a threat in the air, though, Bunny Shaw. Of her 12 league goals so far, 4 of them have come from headers. You expect her to do better. It's a nice, inviting angle for her to go back across Brosnan's goal. She doesn't get the contact that she needs on it. Maybe Mace just in front of her puts her off a little bit.
28 of her 100 goals have been headers. Danger in the air. Still making his voice known. He seems quite quiet to the media, but on the pitch he's certainly got a louder voice.
Yeah, and they do look really organised so far in these opening stages, and as we said, they're not in a low block, they're not being super negative, they're getting bodies behind the ball where they need to, but not giving much time or space for any City player when they do get on it. Blocking crosses really well.
Wiedemeyer into Shaw. That well, and now Everton will look to counter here. No support with Schnoit.
She did really well when she first gathered the ball, Schnoit. Driving into the open space. Jade Rose was scrambling to get that goal side, but needs to secure possession and find a teammate with that pass back.
That's all right. Nice from Everton. Pacheco.
Really good combination play in these wide areas from Everton, and how often have we spoken of Casper for Gino when she's on the pitch, but the danger that Manchester City possess in wide areas, often underlaps, overlaps, creating overloads in wide areas. But the way that Sorensen has set his team up today, yes, it could be with his defence's absences in mind, but actually I think it's to combat City's fullbacks, and they're doing it really well. Vignola getting back, helping Pacheco.
Doing really well. Find some room, chested down by Shaw. On guard. Hayashi. Fernandez. Pacheco. Driving forward. Vignola. Wants to find a run of pain, I think, but a bit of miscommunication there.
Yeah, it was, but I like what they're trying, just not quite on the same wavelength. Let's not forget, these players have been off, having a well-earned break. What was a very busy period. Lots of these players play international matches as well in between, so they would have had a good week to 10 days off. Only came back into training together just over a week or so ago, so there's bound to be a little bit of rustiness.
Shaw finds Carolyn well. Overlapping run of Kasparai. She goes for the strike herself, Carolyn. Booted clear once more.
I've been impressed with the work rate that Everton have shown to get back and get bodies back behind the ball, cover for each other, close down any Manchester City player in possession. But actually it'd be great if we could see that same work rate echoed up the other end when it heads up to Schnoit. She is a little bit isolated, unlike she was in the opening 5 minutes.
Carolyn, nice ball to find Kasparai. Across the face of goal, punched out again. Still not clear for Everton. Well, a let-off for the visitors. Brosnan once again brave in her goalkeeping.
Well, they say goalkeepers are a special breed. I don't know how she's smiling after this challenge, because I thought it was terrifying seeing the oncoming Bunny Shaw come in and challenge that, but no complaints from her or from Everton. It is the first time, however, we've seen Kasparai get in behind Vignola. Manages to get a dangerous looking chip cross in, but Brosnan outstanding again.
Everton. We'll find some attacking flow. Here's Payne.
I think maybe this is where they're missing Kelly Gargo. She starts on the bench today. I haven't heard anything regarding an injury or a knock. And there has been plenty of talk about her being hot property across Europe for lots of teams on the lookout for a striker, particularly in France. And PSG have been sniffing around, and it's with good reason, because she is really an important focal point for this Everton team. They look different when she's on the pitch than when she's not on the pitch. So for these balls in behind, through balls, and maybe just expecting her type of movement, but it's not there today. We can look up and find each other's feet.
Carolyn dancing around the checker there into the box. Goes for the strike herself. And it's found away, all the way into the back of the net. Carolyn. Well, it was heavily deflected, I think, on the way in.
Well, we spoke about her ability on the ball. Unlike anybody else in sky blue, she can do this. She is not phased at all that there's not one, two, but three Everton players in and around her. She backs her trickery, she backs her skills. And it's really gutting from an Everton perspective, because actually Fernandez gets across really well, and Brosnan has been brilliant so far in the opening half an hour or so. It's a little bit fortunate. She shows in the eye, she's just trying to put it into a dangerous area, I think, actually, Carolyn. There's an inevitability about Manchester City. You just know it's not a matter of if they're going to score, it's just when.
Well, we're going to wait for confirmation on whether that will be Carolyn's goal or Fernandez's own goal. But nevertheless, it's Manchester City once again who leads. And it is Carolyn, for now, who will take the goal.
I think she deserves to take the goal from... Well, she beat the Everton backline one-on-one, and Fernandez certainly won't want it. I think on the balance of play, it is a little bit harsh against Everton, who've done everything right, really, from a defensive point of view so far. Started brightly offensively as well. Just faded off a little bit, but I think that is why they're sitting pretty at the top of the table, Manchester City. There's never a haste, there's never a panic, there's never a frustration. They stick to what they do best, they keep the ball moving, and they know they'll create chances.
She is again, Carolyn. Give for a second, Hem. Another block from May. She's doing well, the young defender.
Yeah, she's been brilliant for them since signing from Leicester City. Just prior to this season, we used to see her in centre midfield as well, but she's dropped back into the back line for Everton of late, and takes real pride in blocking anything that's goal bound.
City not letting this momentum slide. They want more. Asagawa. Header. All the way out. Like Kanak, I think, was the one that got on the end of it. Niedermar maybe in there too.
I think Niedermar actually defended this really well from Kanak, got in each other's way a little bit. Holmgaard just about enough. I think she's asking for a call there, Kanak, because she is dangerous from those areas. Scored a brilliant header in the Manchester derby.
Some work to do now, Brian Sorensen. Gonna readjust his team slightly. Or does he? Does he just keep the same going? Because they have been good, Everton. Hem.
I think the way that he set the team up and how they've approached this opening half an hour has been really, really good. It's really difficult when you're up against players like Carolyn, who have that ability, that world-class ability. Don't forget, she was MVP in the WSL when she came across a couple of years ago. Sometimes you do get beat as a defender.
On the attack, blocked by Everton. Great to Blinkilda Brown though.
A bit of a needless foul that one from Znak, because I'm not sure there was anybody going to be on the end of the layoff from Schnois.
Checo. For Payne, Corrine misses it. Only Payne now in. Options infield. Got Kanak to contest with, gets to the byline, pulls it back, straight to Yamashita.
Do you know what, she does brilliantly actually, Tony Payne. She's got a free roll across the front line for Everton today. Kasparai, not like her to make a mistake, but she gets on the end of it, and you think the move has come to an end here. Kanak does enough, but speed in which she gets up, but there's absolutely nobody in an Everton shirt anywhere near the 6-yard box. If they want to get back into this game, probably be fuming that there's nobody in there. Nobody in 2025 registered more assists than Tony Payne.
Yet to score in the WSL, Tony Payne. Everton's striker. Here is Miedemar though, back with Blinkilda Brown. Kasparai. Carolyn. Through the legs of Wheeler there. And Hasegawa. Just over the half an hour mark. City only leading by a goal to nil.
Pacheco. Not that I want to encourage fouling, but good to see her getting really tight on Carolyn, giving her any space to take her one way to then dribble it round the other. Maybe a little bit of frustration in that challenge as well.
Far post this time, headed by Miedemar. Straight to the gloves of Brosnan.
A really good decision from the goalkeeper, because she's come out and claimed the last few, but you can hear a really clear communication to her back line that it's for them to deal with. She knew that the attempt from Miedemar was oncoming, and she's positioned well.
Schnois. The Vignola. By Greenwood up. Yamashita again.
Such a shame, because when Schnois picks up this ball, Homegaard has bust a gut down the right hand side and is all alone. Oh, she didn't get a call, it just didn't open up her body enough. She would have been in on goal.
Saw the Everton bench there. New signing for them, Anna Blondell from Manchester United. Could get a debut in an Everton shirt today.
It'll be interesting to see how Sorensen uses her, because she is pretty like for like that player there on your screen, Maz Pacheco, the left-sided defensive player. Pacheco has been bright in an Everton shirt since signing, 2 assists to her name, 6 shots as well, so she's not afraid of busting a gut and getting up there and supporting the attacks as well. Coat is back on, however, for Blundell.
A chilly afternoon in Manchester.
way of trying to hurt Everton. It's how they got the goal.
Greenwood, then into the box, header up, and over, another corner.
She gets it. Congratulations to the goalkeeper as well done. Fernandez needed to deal with it. Tricky one. In swinger from Greenwood.
The rain is coming down. In Manchester, Greenwood again with the delivery at the far post, headed by Shaw. And I thought on the rebound maybe Hemp could have put that in.
Challenge again, wasn't it, from Martina Fernandez. She's been a really good signing for Sorensen since she joined permanently this summer. Good contact in the first instance from Shaw, and Hemp is doing everything to get any type of touch on it.
Miedema, Hilda Brown, Farai. Fixture play from City. Here's Hemp. Swap flank. Greenwood. Take it on. Instructions, Carolyn there. Tries to go back to Hilda Brown, who shoots well outside and over the crossbar.
Again, cries of take her on wasn't a Scout accent, but it was not from an Everton player, it was from a former Everton player. Alex Greenwood in behind her. It's just her leadership on show. Wanting the players in front of her to express themselves. He'll be a happy man. I've been impressed every time I hear him speak. He's always very humble, always very calm, and always full of respect for the opponent he's played or is about to play. Doesn't take his position at the top of the table for granted at all.
And you've got to, especially against an Everton side that stopped the Chelsea's unbeaten run. Risky play here though on Everton, out the back. Managed to clear it upfield. Payne. Feet from Tony Payne, does really well. Support left and right, goes all the way, crosses it in. Pachuco, what a goal that would have been.
Excellent stuff, wasn't it, from Tony Payne? To start with, I thought she might have squandered the opportunity to hit the home team on the break, because there's plenty of bodies. Mark Pacheco occupying the two centre-backs, but does really well to get any type of delivery in, and it's a great run across the front from the full-back. Brilliant forward play to get a team up the pitch, turning the defence into attack, and it started with good courage on the ball from Ruby Mace.
So Everton have a rare corner in this game. Pacheco, the near post. Oh, it's found a way in. Well, Fernandez thinks she scored. I don't think that's going to count.
Oh, what a shame. I'd like to see this one again. The foul has been called on the goalkeeper, Yamashita, still down and asking for treatment, but delivered with wicked pace, the in-swinger. Right on top of the goalkeeper, which is always difficult. It's Mace that's in front of her. Oh, I'm not sure there's much in that, to be honest. You often see it go the way of the goalkeeper, but Mace gets in front here. Backs into her a little bit. That's not a foul. For me, that's not a foul. You can hear the boos ringing across the Joy Stadium. I think they could feel really hard done by their Everton.
Well, they had that one that was called offside, wasn't offside, and now this.
And Ruby Mace has got the right to go down as well if she feels the contact from Yamashita behind. It's just a good contest, good physical contest. It's a shame because it came at the end of a really good move. It started with her there, Ruby Mace, the former Manchester City player. Payne did really
22, new signing from Barcelona in the summer. She's on loan. Well, 5 minutes before the break then. Hasagawa, Greenwood, and there's an Everton player down. The medics immediately rushed on. Schnois down, clutching her ankle. Well, not sure whether you saw that, Nia. We'll see it now.
No, I didn't see it, which is always a really worrying sight because there's no duel, there's no contact between her and Hasagawa. And straight away you can see the response in the body language of not just her own teammates but the opposition players of City as well. She looks in real discomfort. She's a very strong, physical, experienced player who would not go down unless she felt something pretty bad. So we're just hoping maybe that it's a tweaked ankle and it's not something more sinister like an Achilles, but see a fellow international compatriot Miedemar comforting her, checking she's okay. That would be a big loss for Everton.
Well, we can have a look at the only goal that stood in this game. Carolyn working her way in. Deflected slightly by Fernandez, who thought she put one in the back of the net at the other end. But a foul given on Ruby Mace on Yamashita, denying Everton an equaliser.
Yeah, it's the type of challenge you see when a goal kick has been played into the centre forward and they almost back into the centre back, and it's almost never given as a foul in that instance. Feel straight away from Manchester City, but I think Yamashita needs to be stronger there.
Everton receiving some instructions from Brian Sorensen. Oh, and I think this doesn't look good, does it? Stretcher is out for Katja Schnois. She is a goal threat for Everton, 3 goals to her name this season in all competitions. And it looks like it's going to be Kelly Gago to take her place. Another threat up top. So recovering from a hamstring injury.
I mean, it would give them a different dimension. Schnois has been occupying the number 9 role in some matches so far this season. She's drifted into the number 10 at times today with Tony Payne running in behind Orvignola, but Kelly Gago is an out-and-out striker, a goal scorer for Everton so far this season. But as we said, maybe it is her recovering from an injury which sees her on the bench today, or maybe it's them trying to look after what could be a very expensive striker for another team. Who knows? But it's best wishes to Schnois here, because that didn't look good off the ball. The reaction of her teammates and her opponents tells you everything.
Yeah, peers have described her as one of the best finishers they've ever seen. She's been ruthless for Everton. 8 goals in her debut season. Really good signing from Brian Sorensen. You can see the players just trying to keep warm there. It's a chilly afternoon in Manchester, and now Kelly Gago will have the chance to impress from the bench, and there will be 6 minutes of added time in this first half, and it's been a fairly entertaining half. Leah?
Yeah, it has. Everton started the better team for sure in the opening 5 or 10 minutes, and as you said, City, the home team's inevitable. form came into play. They have been the most impressive in terms of the stats in the first half of all teams in the league this year. Nobody has scored more goals in the first half or conceded less than Manchester City. But Everton have more than held their own. And when they have got bodies forward, when they have managed to break through on transition, as we saw, they maybe had a perfectly good goal scratched off by the officials, but she will certainly help try and get them back into this one, Kelly Gargo.
Well, it was her birthday on Tuesday. Turned 27 years old. Looking to add to her 4 goals for the club this year. Ball down the flank by Miedemar.
The fluidity of Manchester City as well. Just look at how they set them on a piece of paper prior to kick-off, but they're such intelligent footballers. They drift all over the place, fill in for each other all of the time. Must be difficult for Everton to keep tabs on who they should be picking up and when.
Shaw tidies that up. Back to Kasparai. City have had 8 corners in this first half and only 1 goal to show for it. It does show that Everton are keeping them quiet and are defending well. Yamashita and Kanak. Was sat there 12 shots to 1 too. Only 3 on target for them though. Here they come again, Hem. Greenwood. Just slowing it down slightly, trying to work her way into this Everton back line. Greenwood sends it in, header by Shaw, and another good save from Brosnan on the line.
It just must be so nice to play in a wide area for Manchester City, because you know at any given moment you can swing the ball in low, high, from the left to the right, and 9 times out of 10 Bunny Shaw will get herself on the end of it. Flying the head of Shaw. It's Kasparai in the end, but wasn't quite tall enough. Checker did well actually. She didn't challenge for the header, but she just positioned her body to make it as difficult as possible for Kasparai to connect with the cross. And they're really knocking on the door now, Man City.
2 minutes of added time to go. Hem. Greenwood, slight hesitation. And they're still well in control. This time Greenwood, short. She just can't seem to find a bit of the goal that's not occupied by Brosnan.
No, and that's credit to Brosnan's positioning as well, of course. She's not ever losing sight of the ball. Always central, ready to react, but as you said, a foot either side of Brosnan on any of these opportunities will be 2 goals to the good.
Brosnan keeping Everton in this tie, in this game. Experienced goalkeeper, formerly of West Ham. Kasparai.
Yeah, she's been great for them. Courtney Brosnan, born in the USA, pardon the pun, but does represent the Republic of Ireland, and I think it shows what type of person she is, that she wears the armband for Everton as well. Emily Ramsey, in Brosnan's absence, did occupy that shirt. He did 14 goals in 6 appearances. Brosnan conceded just 8 in 5 appearances, so he certainly is a presence.
Everton with a bit of momentum here just before the break. Gago. Ball pass. Hayashi. Shaw will run away with it. Greenwood. In the back from Mace.
Yes, Carolyn. She's all action, Ruby Mace. I think she's got the most yellow cards of any player in the WSL, but she takes real pride in never being beaten, and I think certainly there's a little bit of extra fire, if there's any room for that, in her belly today, playing against her former team, because she has been formidable so far.
Well, this you'd think would be the last action of this half. Shaw. Defended well by Everton, and it will be. And at the break, it's Manchester City who are in control. They lead Everton by a goal for nil. Carolyn, the goal scorer, heavily deflected on the way in from Fernandez, but it wriggled its way in. Manchester City, or Everton, sorry, thought they'd found an equaliser, but a foul on Yamashita through Ruby Mace denied them that goal. And so at the break between these two sides, it's Manchester City 1, Everton 0. finding a lot of clearances, 17. Both sides fairly accurate. 90% passing accuracy for Manchester City. You can see the quality they've got. No cards yet in this game. But a big second half to come. And there is a half-time substitution for Everton, and it's going to be the new loanee signing, Hannah Blundell from Manchester United, who signed this week with them. Former Wales defender Nia Jones alongside me for the second half. A good substitution, you think?
Yeah, I think so, because Manchester City have been very threatening down that right-hand side. We haven't seen officially who's gone off, but it looks to be a like-for-like change with Mars Pacheco at left-back. So Hannah Blundell, as you said, huge amount of experience in this league. Won trophies with both Manchester United and with Chelsea, of course. Hoping to stifle the momentum that Manchester City did build towards the end of that first half down that right-hand side.
It is Maz Pacheco who has returned to the bench for Hannah Blundell to make her debut. Pacheco still recovering from an ankle injury, so Sorensen managing her time. And Everton playing well in the first half. A lot of defending they had to do, but they did keep Manchester City quiet. What do you think, Nia, they've got to do, or what do you think that Brian Sorensen would have said at half-time?
I think they need to continue doing what they're doing from a defensive standpoint, not giving Manchester City time or space when they do receive the ball deep into their defensive half. But also when they do get the ball back, which they work really hard to do, they need to commit bodies up there. I know it's tough mentally and physically to make that sprint, not knowing if it's ever going to pay off, but they need to do that if they want to get back into it, Everton.
They've got some more defending to do here. Greenwood into Miedemar. Dublin Kilda Brown. Kasparai. Nice play across their back line. Tagawa. Rose. Shaw. Nice run from her. Tries to get it back. And the header from Hens is over.
Oh, it's excellent defending, I think, right underneath her own crossbar by home guard. It's a clever run across the front, not where we're used to seeing Bunny Shaw. Usually she's the one diving in, trying to get it post goal bound, but actually takes a little nick off Ruby Mace, which makes it really tricky. Just does enough, home guard, to put off Hemp without giving a foul away.
Well, we were saying in the break, Nia, that a lot of these chances for Manchester City were coming from Alex Greenwood on the flanks, on the left-hand side, fired in for Bunny Shaw, but it looks like they've got a few more options now. Manchester City, here's Carolyn.
Yeah, and there's no doubt that a lot of that is down to the presence that Bunny Shaw possesses. They know that they can swing it in, and she's going to cause all sorts of problems for teams. That's not a luxury that a lot of the top teams in the WSL have, is somebody that's that threatening in the air, which is maybe why we don't see as many crosses from some of the other teams. But again, I think that's testament to how Jugglitz has had an effect on this team. It's not just all about keeping the ball on the floor and maintaining possession. He cares about scoring goals, and even if you love defending your own box, there comes a time where actually it gets a bit tiresome. You might misconnect with one of the crosses coming in, and there's an opportunity for Bunny Shaw.
Tony Payne finding herself in some good positions for Everton. Not enough support up there with her though. Kilda Brown. Carolyn. Nice overlapping run from Kasparai. Sends it in. Over everyone though.
Yeah, product, unlike her, usually her end product, Kasparai, is excellent. Prior to this game, she put in 45 crosses, a staggering amount, most of anybody in the WSL.
Won many player of the matches too this season, Kasparai. Really important player. Takes the captain's armband too.
I think they managed to get out from Courtney Brosnan really well, Everton. They're able to move on and off the ball, find the right angles under a huge amount of pressure. But then it's the next phase of how they then link to their forward players that tends to fall down. I think Manchester City know that. Why they're not pressing all guns blazing to try and win it back as high up. They almost know that, okay, well, concede the first couple of phases because they'll pop it back up eventually. Maybe the next bit that Sorensen needs to work on with his team going into the second part of the season.
Here is Kasparai. Oh, lovely ball to find Shaw. Shaw still with it. Almost on the end of that loose ball.
Nearly a perfect through ball from Hogarth through to Bunny Shaw. Really calm from the defender in the end, but it's a wicked ball through. Good clever run in behind Ruby Mace, who's chosen to step out. First mistake she's made.
On guard. You can see it all the way through. Got a bit tight at the end there though. And you would not want Bunny Shaw charging at you, would you? Brosnan has been brave today. Another one in. Miedemar's header is deflected and Brosnan will collect again. Fernandez. Miedemar. Holmgart. Mace. Hem cuts it back. Shaw. And Kasparai can recycle, sends it in again. Shaw trying to look for the header. Ball for Holmgart. With Hasegawa. Hemp. Greenwood. City pressing now.
Yeah, Everton can't get out, and Hayashi, a couple of really good bits of play from her, helping out her back line. Really important block in the goal round effort.
Miedemar, team able to win it back. Miedemar still going. Greenwood spots the freedom of Kasparai. A mistake from a Dutch international gives it to Blundell. First few touches for her. Hannah Blundell in an Everton shirt, making her debut today.
Yeah, and I think she just showed perfectly what she'll offer this Everton team. Gets her distances and her angles in closing Kasparai down. Bang on. And then using her experience to draw a foul when she was under pressure and couldn't wriggle herself out of it.
She played 89 minutes against Tottenham in the League Cup quarter-final for Manchester United last time out, so she's ready to go. Full of life, full of energy, Hannah Blundell. And that is what you need, I guess, in the January transfer window. Players that are just going to get on with it and run all the way through. Kanak. Kane moving to take that. There's Holmgart.
really well, forced her wide, didn't do enough with her footwork. She usually does, Tony Payne, but didn't do enough to create enough space for the angle to deliver the ball. It's a shame the move came to nothing in the end.
Matilda Brown, Wiedemark, Carolyn. Shaw to Hem. The battle with Mace. She does get it across. Shaw's header. And again, Brosnan is in the way.
Oh, she never gives up on this one, Lauren Hemp. She gets a couple of nibbles on her by Ruby Mace. It's a fascinating battle going on down that side. And just look at the movement of Bunny Shaw. She's got no right to win that header in front of Fernandez.
Well, Mace has a wide range of experience. She's only 22 years old, but hoping to break into the England team too. A promising midfielder, defender is Matilda Brown. Kemp, all to find Shaw. An outreach leg. Shaw is not enough.
And again, it's the overlap. They're dropping off a little bit too deep now, I think, Everton. Really inviting the pressure from Manchester City. She's got plenty of time and space, Lauren Hemp, to try and pick out a teammate.
Blundell. The run of Holmgard. Some room now. Sit back straight away, and that foot is in the way. Blocks Tony Payne.
Really good switch of play to begin with. A shame she couldn't deliver that first time ball Holmgard between the City back line and the goalkeeper.
Wriggles the way through, Hem! Over the bar.
Oh, what a turn. Under all sorts of pressure. I thought she turned into trouble to begin with. Checks her shoulder, lovely bit of skill. Ruby Mace just been a little bit too eager in the opening 20 minutes of this second half to get in and close people down. Not a bad effort.
That would have been some goal, but we've seen her do it before. Matilda Brown doing well there. Through to Bunny Shaw, who's in the box. Carolyn is. And a flare from the Brazilian there. Head out to Shaw. And a low-powered shot. I think Brosnan was calling for the offside flag.
I think that's what City do really well, is you can't tell where anybody's supposed to be playing because they're just moving freely into any spaces that they spot. So Bunny Shaw, last couple of times we've seen her on it, has been almost in a creator provider role rather than a finisher. When she does that, Carolyn is steaming in, Hemp and Wiedemark trying to get in there, threatening Brosnan's goal.
Wheeler, Blundell, well, there is Kaja Snoy, who has returned to the bench after being stretchered off in the first half, and You can see she's got a protective boot on her ankle. Went down unannounced on her own. Always a worrying sign. And she walks out on crutches as well.
Yeah, great to see her able to come out and support her teammates for the remainder of the game. Not a lot the medical staff can do whilst they are away from home, but I'm sure the best that it's nothing too long term, whether it's a calf, an ankle or Achilles. She's an important player for them.
Another injury for Everton though, who add to their ranks. 2 regular defenders in there. 2 that haven't made the squad today. Gago and back to Brosnan. Half an hour to go. It's still City in control for now. Hemp. Kasparai out wide to Carolyn. Miedemar's shot is blocked well, and it's Mace again. Still on the attack though, City. Hem.
Really well closed down again. Mace in the first instance to deny Miedemar, but the centre-back partner Fernandez on that occasion taking all the sting out of Hemp's shot from distance. Eglert's making moves for his substitutions as well.
And it's quality for quality for Manchester City. Grace Clinton coming on in a few moments' time. Here's Wheeler trying to escape the presence of Bunny Shaw. Hayashi and Mace. To give Everton credit for the defending that they have been doing in this game. Keeping it at just 1-0 and maybe should have had an equaliser in the first half. They've played well. He again on the prowl. Here's Shaw. I think ball into Miedemar. Miedemar! Inevitable! Viviana Miedemar doubles Manchester City's lead. City 2, Everton 0.
Well, inevitable was the word that you used, and I'd have to agree. They have been really good for large spells, Everton. Put their bodies on the line, they've taken pride in their defensive actions, but the quality of how their defensive players connect with their attacking players just hasn't been there. The City have known that. They've won it back time and time again in midfield. They totally drop off when he's short. They probably think, thank goodness the striker is far away from goal. But as we said, when one comes short, there's always somebody in sky blue running in behind, and it's a delicious little chip pass through. And once she brings it down with expert control on her chest, there's only one outcome.
Viviana Miedemar once again on the score sheet for Manchester City. Brilliant control. A brilliant finish. Past Brosnan in goal, and that was her last action of the game. She scored just in time, because she will be coming off for Grace Clinton. What a player Viviana Miedemar is.
Quite literally the gloves are off now for Manchester City, I think.
So Grace Clinton is on. Another summer signing for City. A swap with Jess Park. Also having a very good season at Manchester United.
Yeah, and I think when that news came out of the direct switch across Manchester, a lot of people thought that maybe City had the better deal, but Jess Parker's had plenty to say about that. And she's struggled with Inigo Grace Clinton, has chipped in with 1 goal and 1 assist so far, and it is a stacked team that she's trying to gain a place in. She's got a good half an hour here to really stamp her authority and put her hand up for a more regular starting spot under the manager.
Carolyn. Short. So a substitution for Everton 2. Kitagawa is on, and Holmgaard has come off. So both managers with some fresh legs, some fresh ideas. And also it's Yuka Mamiki who's going to make her way on for Everton, and Rosa Van Hool returns to the bench.
Two positive changes from the manager. 2 Japanese internationals. Surprised to see Mamiki not start. Not sure if she suffered with that illness that Sorensen spoke of over the Christmas period, but she's been key for them in signing from Leicester City in the summer as well. She was the one that got that winner against Chelsea.
Thought that Kitagawa for Everton had an injury. She's obviously recovered in time, played the last half an hour.
It's just a shame really that Sorensen waited for them to go 2-0 down before making those changes. I think it's something that we've spoken about him doing before, maybe could afford to be a little bit more proactive in making those offensive changes when the game is still a little bit more within reach.
Ashi. Fernandez. Kitagawa. Possessed by Carolyn. Blundell. Forward, nice ball to Mamiki, fresh legs for her. Through to Gago, this is nice play from Everton. Who's in the box? Blundell, through the legs of City and Mamiki there. Clinton uses her strength to run away with it. Here is Carolyn, end to end. Carolyn, Shaw, she's got a free shot, Shaw. Good block from Brosnan. Made herself big. Denying Bunny Shaw once again.
Oh, you can't argue we're not getting our money's worth here for the first game back after Christmas. Terrific move from Everton. You've on her heels a little bit, Kelly Gargo, but right up the other end in the space of 3 passes. How quick is Brosnan out to smother Bunny Shaw? Takes the time, the Jamaican forward. Good strong block with the knee.
Taken a lot of hits today. Courtney Brosnan keeping the ball out to the back of the net. She's done well so far.
The subs combining really well just prior to that effort from Shaw for Everton. Blundell with a brilliant ball forward to Mamiki, who waited patiently for support, fed Payne down the right hand side, and again, not quite on the same wavelength as that player there, Gargo. Tried to sell the dummy.
City capitalise. Hemp, good block from Fernandez. Hemp still with it. Hemp. And out to Mamiki.
Well, she's really grown into this match as well, Lauren Hemp. It's just the speed in which she's able to take her touch and then get on the end of it as well. So sharp.
Payne doing really well there, charging down the left-hand side. But again, nobody in the box for Everton.
And I think Gargo again, although the cross didn't have much of an angle on it, I think she could have been stretching to get there ahead of the goalie.
City will bring it all the way down the other end. Here's Kasparai. Gets it over the byline. The kick. "20 minutes to go. Everton aren't out of this just yet."
Well, it's not too dissimilar to how we saw the game go at Goodison as well. Yeglet said it was a really tricky match for them. They just edged it 2-1 in the end.
Gowers ball in, punched out by Brosnan again, ball for Hayashi, who has no option there but to put it out for a throw. Clinton all the way.
And we know she's got that ability off both feet from distance. In the mood and the form that Courtney Brosnan's in, it's going to have to be something special.
Fernandez.
And these are the areas that I think they are really clever, Manchester City. They're not too humble to drop off a little bit and just lure Everton into trouble. And it's in these sort of areas that Everton have struggled. Absolutely fine getting it out from the back, using the goalkeeper, using Hayashi in that central defensive midfield role to get themselves out. But often then it's just a City ball around the halfway line.
Well, if results were to stay like this, City keep this lead, they would continue their 6 points clear at the top of the WSL table. Chelsea sitting in second, also winning in their game. They're looking to claim a first WSL title since 2016. And I guess, Neo, without the Champions League this year, they've been able to manage their injuries slightly better, which derailed them last season. Maybe this is City's year.
Yeah, I think so, and they again went under the radar, and no wonder because Chelsea have been so formidable, so dominant, taking the last 6 WSL titles back to Cobham, but I think they are the team to beat, and undoubtedly no Champions League football to contend with midweek, extra load on the players, slight distraction away from the league, certainly is helping Manchester City, but just the balance that they have, the form that the players are in, the impact the manager's had in adding his own style onto the top of Gareth Taylor's work that he did when he was here as well. It's just all coming together at the right time for them.
Jago on the counter for Everton. What could she do? Gets past Greenwood and falls down. And a yellow card is produced.
Oh, what a bit of skill that was, and I think Greenwood actually, she's tapping on Cargo's head to apologise, but also to congratulate her, I think, for the brilliant bit of skill. It's going to be a yellow card. He's denying a really promising counter-attack. Well, look at this with a little point behind the back.
Great work from Jago, and another substitution for Everton. So Claire Wheeler taken away to training recently. Out to Carolyn, already got a goal to her name today. Out to Mamiki.
It's a vital recovery one from Kitagawa to get back and just take the space away from Carolyn. She could have taken the shot on earlier. She acknowledges the pass.
Galley, and this is her first appearance this season. Turning to the field, only made 2 appearances last year too. Is Gago, Mamiki, Blundell! Well, it would have been debut delight for Hannah Blundell.
Woo-hoo, says Carolyn. She knows her team maybe got away with one there. What a shame Hannah Blundell couldn't finish off that really exciting move from Everton. Good football. Because again, you're expecting Gago to pull the trigger, but she makes a great decision in feeding it across to Mamiki. The passes on the favour to Blundell. Needs to probably go low and across the goalkeeper, but credit to Yamashita. Stayed big, stayed rooted.
Well, Everton with enough. The chance. Hayashi. Shaw. Header up. The pace of Lauren Hemp. Galley. Through. Well, I will be asking you for your Barclays Player of the Match, Nia Jones, in a few moments' time, but I think there's quite a few today that could take that spot, and a few in Everton's squad.
Yeah, certainly. I think shout out to Courtney Brosnan, as we've mentioned, very busy in the first half in particular, 4 big saves that she had to make, but just how she's relieved the pressure from plenty of crosses that City have put in, plenty of corners. She's been really brave in coming out, either claiming them or punching them away from danger. Ruby Mace against her former team, I think is an exciting one for Lionesses fans to keep their eye on. Has represented the youth teams and went to Leicester City prior to Everton for game time due to her ambition.
Here's Payne. Gago's in the box this time. Strength of Jade Rose. Leaves it out.
I think from a City perspective, there's not been one star, but I also think that that's what's made them so formidable so far this season. I know a lot is said about Bunny Shaw, but they're also the team that has the most amount of different scorers because they're so fluid, they can interchange so freely. They don't have a huge squad like some other big teams, which means they've built really good connections with everybody.
Andre Jegler that we saw there, this is his first time in the WSL. His first year with Manchester City. Lovely ball through. The offside flag stays down for now. Here's Bunny Shaw. Oh, she tried to be clever. Punches the ground in frustration.
Wow, what a ball through to her again. She's almost half-heartedly looking across the official, willing and wanting her to wave a flag to catch Bunny Shaw offside, but she's always going to play on to the whistle. It's a brilliant ball through to her from Hasegawa. She's got an ability to just slow the play down. She plays at her own rhythm, and that's why she's so good, Bunny Shaw. But she almost realises too late that pressure is incoming from Ruby Mace. Goes to the toe poke in the end, but should have scored.
And that, you feel, would have put it to bed for Manchester City. Everton are having moments though here in this game. Gago through to Payne, and the offside flag goes up this time. Bunny Shaw seems really frustrated to let that opportunity miss.
I don't think she's used to going many minutes without scoring a goal, but again, that's why I've been so impressed with her when I've watched her. She often does get a lot of chances. She often squanders some, but she's always ready for the next one. She doesn't sulk for long. It might look like she is off camera, but she knows another one is coming soon and she'll be ready.
A goal in the last game, 4 against Aston Villa before that, 2 against Leicester City. It just doesn't stop for Bunny Shaw.
And I think that's where City differ from other clubs as well, who have the luxury of a lot of top quality players, is Bunny Shaw maybe in another team under another manager would get taken off more often. She's on 70 minutes, had plenty of chances and not scored. They might give somebody else an opportunity, but Yeglet often leaves her on. She's great for her confidence and great for her stats as well.
Nice off play this time. It's Hemp. Greenwood's inside. Greenwood! Another brilliant save from Brosnan. Let's take nothing away from Greenwood. What a superb strike.
Well, she's been brilliant actually, Alex Greenwood. Usually we've seen her trying to provide for her teammates so far today, but chooses to just join in. Sees her England teammate Lauren Hemp on the ball. It's a wicked effort. Credit again to Brosnan, equal to it.
Taken short. Hemp. This is it. Across the face of goal. Headed by Kanak.
To Brosnan, equal to it.
Taken short. Hemp. This is it. Across the face of goal. Headed by Kanak. Mamiki sees it out. trickery from the Brazilian across the face of goal. Miki. Got a stat available to me here, Nia. 7 big chances missed for Manchester City. 7. And although they are winning in this game, with 6 minutes of normal time to go, they should claim all 3 points. Do you think that's going to frustrate a side like Manchester City?
To be honest, no, not for this game, especially not if they take 3 points and a clean sheet and go back to training on Monday with a 2-goal victory. I think what you can read into it, if you want, is really looking at are they going to be title contenders, because they're not going to be able to afford 7 big missed opportunities against the likes of Chelsea, Manchester United, Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur. So going forward, they'll need to be a lot more clinical in those areas, but they've always done this under Yegler. They've always created a host of chances and they just back themselves to score 2, 3, 4 of them. I will say though, they've in the last 3 matches by a margin of 3 goals or more, so Everton will be hoping that stat stops today.
They've got the FA Cup to deal with next, Manchester City, and then it is a big game in the Women's Subway League Cup against Chelsea, the semi-final, a repeat of the final last year. And then they've got London City Lionesses and then Chelsea again, but this time in the WSL. So a big calendar, couple of fixtures coming up.
Yeah, and it looks like they're sitting pretty at the top of the table, but they cannot take it for granted. Arsenal, for all their critics so far this season, have only lost 1 game. Chelsea have only lost 1 game, so it is all to play for, and especially those head-to-heads, they are going to be a must-watch.
Chelsea only losing 1 game, and it was to this Everton side just before the break. Carolyn. Greenwood points forward into Hem. Makes the overrun to Carolyn. Clinton. Or 2 minutes now of normal time to go. Nia Jones, I'll ask you for your Barclays player of the match today, and a lot to choose from.
Yeah, as you said, I think it's been more of a solid team performance from Manchester City. I think Hemp has grown into it really well. Carolyn, of course, got that all-important first goal. But actually I'm going to go for a player who's just returned from injury, which will be a huge, huge boost to their title chase. Manchester City is Alex Greenwood. I think her movement in the first half, 6 big chances created, the quality of her deliveries is today's Barclays player of the match.
Hilda Brown looking for the run of Bunny Shaw there, still on the attack, Manchester City. And Alex Greenwood, the Barclays player of the match. A player back from injury, as Nia said, England international. Fantastic player. We were discussing actually before the game, Greenwood is playing in the left-back position for Manchester City. For England, sometimes plays in the centre-back role. Where do you think she fits best?
I think in this City team, I think it's great that they've got the option of both. I think, given what I said before the game, in that sometimes they look a little bit ropey in the centre-back position, she could definitely add a bit of stability there, but since the kids, since joining Everton at 6, she's pretty much been a left-back. She's really comfortable there, and in this team it gives her licence to really get forward. And with the amount of crosses that they like to put in, for the likes of Miedemar and Shaw, she's a perfect fit at left-back.
Did miss her. When she was injured. But she's back for the second half. Greenwood. 2 minutes. Only 2. For City to see this out, you think. Here is Clinton. Shaw. Weaving her way round in the box. Hem sets herself up. Hem just over the bar.
Yeah, intricate stuff, isn't it? And it actually opened up really nicely for Hem. Not a bad ball across in the first instance. There's not much backlift on this effort. There's no pace for her to work with on the ball either. It's almost a bit of a chipped effort. If it was going to go in, it'd have to lob Brosnan. Again, getting her back to full fitness towards the business end of the season. Really positive for Manchester City.
And it's not going to look Brosnan today with the form that she's been in. Gavo and Rose. Gavo comes out the bench, chips it back to Hain. Mamiki was there lurking at the back. City desperate to keep a clean sheet. Defend well.
You can see what she's trying to do, just get a little glancing header across. She knew her teammate was all alone. Tidied up nicely by Clinton in the end.
Carolyn driving in still, looking for a third City. Clinton squeezed out by the black shirts of Everton. And Kilda Brown. Shaw chests it down. And again, who is it? It's Ruby Mace.
Death taxes and Ruby Mace blocking shots.
Carolyn still with it. Whoa, what a strike.
I think she's heard that I haven't given a player of the match, Carolyn, and she's got a point to prove. She has been excellent today, and she is a player that's got that X factor. That individually she can spark a game into life. With Hemp on one side, her on the other, Gino when she's fit as well. Wow, they're the team to be.
Well, that was the last action, and Manchester City continue their dominant run this season. They've beaten Everton by 2-0. Carolyn opening it up in the first half, took a deflection on the way in by Fernandez, beating Brosnan in the end, and then the ball from Viviana Miedemar, doubling Manchester City's lead. So they continue their 3-point hunt. Another 3 points today against an Everton side that defended well. Resolute performance from the visitors today, and special shout out to Courtney Brosnan, who played exceptionally well, and another actually to Ruby Mace. Brilliant defending from the visitors today, and at full time at the Joyce Stadium it's Manchester City 2, Everton 0.